To say that after yesterday's EA Play event that I was fully engorged would be an understatement. It would be more accurate to describe it as being so erect that I could penetrate through a brick wall when I heard the news of Battlefield 2042 bringing back classic maps from Battlefield Bad Company 2. I think unarguably, okay, you can argue, everyone's got their own opinion, that's fine. In my opinion, Bad Company 2, the best Battlefield game of all time. You can agree to disagree. In fact, please let me know down in the comments below what your favorite Battlefield was, and also, if you could pick any map from a previous Battlefield game to be in Battlefield 2042, what would it be if it wasn't included, or even if it was included? Let me know. Also, we got confirmation of a Dead Space remake, so let's get fired right into this amazing gaming news. One of the best days, I think, in the history of Electronic Arts. They actually are doing something right. But first, today's video is brought to you by Prime Tech Mart, where you can grab software products like Windows 10 Pro licenses for extremely cheap. They've also got Office products and Vizio, as well as many more. You can save a lot of money on these keys with something like Windows 10 Pro. You can grab for just $21.43. It's a lifetime activation, so you don't ever need to renew it. You don't need to create an account with them in order to be able to buy it. And you get your key in just a matter of seconds. And if you hit up the links down in the description below and you want to save yourself an additional 20% off of any software over there, just go ahead and use my code JP20 at checkout, apply that, and it'll drop down 20%. So here on Windows 10 Pro for $21, you drop that down to $17 and you're fully activated for life. For more information, check out those links down in the description below along with the coupon code. So, of course, we shouldn't give EA full credit yet. All of this could end up just being a complete shit show. The Dead Space remake could end up being awful. Battlefield 2042 could end up sucking and being filled with microtransactions. We're just going to have to wait and see on those. But right now, I'm pretty excited about this, and I just really, really hope that EA does not let us down with these games. So, first up, let's start off by talking about Battlefield 2042, which got a new trailer yesterday for its Battlefield Portal, so there's some interesting things to that. But first off, I want to talk about the classic maps in Battlefield 2042 and which ones they are bringing back into the game. Not just Bad Company maps, but some other ones as well. If I could find it here we go. The reimagined classics. So we've got 6 maps in total from the classic maps from Battlefield 1942. We've got Battle of the Bulge and El Alamein. For Bad Company 2, we've got Arica Harbor and Valparaiso, which are probably 2 of my favorite maps from that game. Although there was, I can't remember, there was a snow map that came out later on in one of the DLCs. I think it was called Cold War, if I'm not mistaken. I really enjoyed that map as well for Rush. I think Bad Company 2 unarguably had the best Rush maps. Maybe not the best Conquest maps, but when it came to Rush, if you are a fan of Rush, I think Bad Company 2 did it better than any other Battlefield game since then. And then from Battlefield 3, we've got Caspian Border and No Shar Canals. So, No Shar Canals, I like that map specifically for Team Deathmatch. It's actually a very good map if you want to boost up a weapon stats and, unlock different skins and attachments for a weapon. So, that map I enjoyed for that, not so much for the Conquest and Rush modes, but for Team Deathmatch it was good. And then Arica Harbor and Valparaiso, fantastic Rush maps, and I cannot wait to play Rush on those maps. Honestly, when this game first releases, those might be the only 2 maps that I play. I might just literally just play this game on a 24/7 Valparaiso server, and I will be happy as a pig in shit. Valparaiso, easily my favorite Bad Company or Battlefield map of all time. Second best, I would say, is probably Operation Metro, which I enjoy for the Conquest. It's just really, really hectic and just everyone crashing in and trying to get the flanking routes and stuff like that. And I don't know if you know this about me on Operation Metro, because there's a lot of people that don't like it because it's so much of a cluster in there. But I am a artiste at getting around and flanking people on Operation Metro and then coming behind them in lockers or something like that and just flanking the shit out of people and destroying their day. Operation Metro is fantastic, and we'll probably see some version of that down the road because, let's face it, since BF3, it's been in every single game because it is a great map and it's got a lot of fans that love playing the 24/7 on it. But I am super excited about these Bad Company 2 maps. I honestly, if anything, my biggest wish has always been to just get a Bad Company 2 remake. I would love if they were to do something like that. But now I really don't even feel like I need it, because the only map I really wanted to play that much was Valparaiso. I mean, there are other great maps in the game, but as far as picking maps from Bad Company 2 to put into Battlefield 2042, I don't think they could have done a better job on the map selection from those games. And then like Battlefield 1942, I never played that game back in the day, so I really can't speak to the maps on that one. And then for Battlefield 3, No Shark Canals, I think was a very popular map. And then Caspian Border, I was never a fan. People like it for Conquest, so I can get that if you're a Conquest fan. I've just never been a big player of Conquest. I'm more of a Rush player. I also like Domination. So, yeah, I've never really played Caspian Border a ton. If I were to pick any other map from BF3, I would say, even though it's not my favorite, I know a lot of people loved Dame Van Peak for Rush. It was a really good Rush map. Also, let's see, what was the Seine River one was good. And then there was another map that was like that in the streets and stuff. I can't remember the name right now off the top of my head. Drawing kind of a blank. But yeah, they did a fantastic job on selecting the maps. As I said at the start of the video, if there's a map that they didn't put in, please let me know down in the comments below what you would have picked other than the maps that they did choose for Battlefield 2042. Now, the news doesn't end there. This Battlefield Portal thing is actually pretty unique. There's a lot of stuff in this article that we're not going to cover. Everything will be linked down below for the sources. But the whole Battlefield Portal thing, it sounds like it's going to really be for custom matches. As you can see, you can, if you're going to run a server, you can really customize a hell of a lot. Just a ton of things like, weapons and restrictions and maps and rules and tons of stuff that you've has always been able to be done. Like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, if you ran your own servers, which you can do, and I used to do that actually. All the stuff they talk about, you can do. Like you were able to do it, but they sort of got away from the whole like server rentals, and they kind of took control of everything. But if you were to rent your own server, there was so much customization you could do, and there were so many websites that had like different mods and stuff like that for servers. It didn't really like break the game or change anything drastically, but if you wanted to like, let's say you wanted to do an Operation Metro server, but you wanted to ban explosives because they can be a little spammy with the grenades and stuff, and the M320 grenade launchers, rocket launchers can get very, very spammy on a map like that. So if you wanted to set up a custom server with custom rules and stuff like that, you were able to do that, and that's one of the things I have missed in Battlefield games over the years, and it feels like it got a lot more stricter. So this whole Battlefield Portal thing just seems like they're kind of taking control of that, putting it into the game, and streamlining it so that people that want to make custom servers will be able to do so within the game itself. So all of that is great stuff. Everything, that I heard yesterday from EA Play on Battlefield 2042 has definitely sparked my interest in the game. And to be honest, like when this game got first announced, I really wasn't that over the moon. I haven't played Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1. I didn't really play a hell of a lot. BF4, I put a ton of time into that game. Hardline was also not great, in my opinion. And really, it's because, like I said earlier, I'm a big fan of the rush mode. And they just really haven't done rush maps very well. And the reason the Bad Company maps, I feel, did them so well, which is really where, the game was really designed for rush, because the maps are very linear. Because that's what Rush is supposed to be. You're supposed to progress basically in a straight line or something and progress forward and, try to eventually get to the last thing of MCOMs and go ahead and destroy those things. So, the fact that Bad Company maps were basically designed like that, apart from some maps which were initially like only Conquest maps, and there were still certain maps by the time of the end of development after all the DLCs were done, that there were still some maps that were only for Conquest because they just didn't work right for Rush mode. And that's something that DICE has gotten away from in the last few years. They just wanted to have all the modes on all the maps, and some maps just weren't good for certain modes. They just simply were not. Like Domination on the newer games is not really that great because they just take Conquest maps and then they just cut out a section of it, and here you go, that's Domination. On Battlefield 3, when they introduced Domination, it was specifically part of a Close Quarters DLC, which I absolutely loved. It was a great change of pace if you just wanted fast-paced infantry combat, but with Battlefield mechanics, which I loved way more than Call of Duty at the time. And I missed that Close Quarters DLC. I would love to see that come back as well, and have some specific maps that are really built for that close quarter combat, which the Close Quarter DLC was, with maps like Zeba Tower and Operation 925, and the other ones which I'm currently forgetting the names of. Danya Fortress was another one, and then there was one more. It had like the word metal in it, I think. I could be wrong. Either way, as you can tell, I'm a pretty big fan of the Battlefield franchise. I've just been disappointed with it over the past few years, ever since Battlefield 4. I just feel like the game has gotten progressively worse with every single release, really since Bad Company 2. I feel like every single game that's come out has been worse than the last because it wasn't really catering to what I liked about Battlefield. And of course, I'm only one person, but I know that there's a lot of other people out there that do agree with me. Not everyone, but people that do prefer that rush mode on Bad Company 2. I think they're going to love it coming back to Battlefield 2042. But let me know down in the comments below. I'm just absolutely giddy about this. When I saw Valparaiso come on the screen, I stood up and screamed at the top of my lungs, scared the shit out of my stepson who was upstairs at the time. And yeah, I'm over the moon about this. This is awesome, and I really hope EA does a good job with it, and I really can't wait to see more of the Valparaiso map and Arica Harbor, and see what it looks like, in the updated Frostbite engine with all the great graphics and potentially ray tracing and DLSS and all that great stuff. Next up, Dead Space. This was also a good announcement, honestly. A couple weeks ago, I talked about a rumor/leak about this Dead Space game that was supposed to be coming out from EA's Motive Studios, and honestly, I was very harsh on it at the time because in the leak, which obviously was unconfirmed, it didn't really make it sound like it was going to be a direct remake. They made it sound like it was going to be more of like a reimagining. If you think of more like, the original Tomb Raider versus the Tomb Raider that came out, I think 2013, 2014, the newer Tomb Raiders, I would say that was a reimagining, but that was done really well. I've loved all of the newer Tomb Raider games. They did a fantastic job with that. But Dead Space is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and I did not have a lot of confidence that a different studio that was not the people that worked on the original game of Visceral were going to do a good job with a reimagining, and I thought they were going to kind of just mess it up all over again, just kind of like what happened with Dead Space 3. But the fact that this is going to be a remake and will probably more or less be a direct remake of the original, they might, add in some little tiny things here or there. But I'm trying to think of this as more of just, if, based on the way they're describing it, this could all end up changing. But as a remake, I kind of think of it as going to be along the lines of like Mafia 1, the Mafia 1 remake that came out, was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year. That was great. Love the Mafia 1 remake. If they basically do that with this game and just, update it into the new Frostbite engine, give it amazing graphics, throw some ray trace reflections in there and awesome volumetrics and things along those lines, which they talked about in one of the developer vlogs I listened to. It sounds like it is going to have some type of ray trace reflections. And they also did confirm this is going to be a PC and next-gen exclusive. So, of course, I'm sure they're going to be going all out in terms of the visuals, and this is another one I can't wait for. Just like fingers crossed. EA has let us down more than once in the past, so I'm trying to be cautious, but I'm also, I guess you could say, I'm cautiously optimistic about the Dead Space remake and also 2042, because as long as it's just got those Battlefield mechanics on an updated engine on Valparaiso and stuff, I'm going to be all over it like a rash. So that's all I've got for you guys. Super excited about this. Please let me know your thoughts and everything down in the comments below on the Dead Space remake, bringing back the classic maps, which other classic Battlefield maps did not get included that maybe you'd like to see. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time for another video.